Jordan Rains here with the IDP 411 podcast. Just want to tell you guys today about our sponsor of the show, expandtheboxscore.com. Expandtheboxscore.com has premium NFL and college football stats. They're adaptable, they're affordable, there's all kinds of great stuff on there from the NFL to college football. It's great for people that are in the Devy leagues looking to get that edge over their league mates. So go check out expandtheboxscore.com, proud sponsor of the show. And now, without further ado, on to the IDP 411.
What's up? This is Jarod Gray with my co-host Jordan Rains on our bold predictions and hot takes week. We got 1 week to go. Jordan, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm ready to throw out some hot takes. You know, that's these aren't going to necessarily have reason or rhyme behind them. They're just going to be some stuff we're going to throw at the wall, just a couple of random big, bold predictions, whatever. And we'll see what comes back to us. But I'm excited. This should be a fun episode. Man, we've been grinding all summer with the divisional previews, with the draft strategy stuff, going over all these players, talking up IDP 1-2-3 scoring. We've been doing a lot of work. This is going to be a fun episode. And then next week, a week from today, we're going to be doing the Sunday IDP, the IDP Army live cast. So join us next week, 9:30 a.m., guys. We will be doing that live stream, answering start sits, talking through the matchups, all that stuff. That was a really fun show we did every Sunday last week. So hop in. There's no better place to get IDP content on Sunday morning than right here with us. So that's what
agreed. We do consistency, man. That's what we've been about. And we took 3 weeks off the entire off season. So. Yeah.
In January.
And I appreciate you guys always killing it, even when I'm taking time off. Real quick, I still have 20 IDP Army shirts left, so you can shrink them or not. If you want one, DM me or Jordan, and we'll get to you, figure it out.
Yes, sir. We'll get that hooked up. We need to talk through some player news in just a second. Real quick, before we get to that, guys, also my show, Defense Matters, that's the IDP ranking show that I'm doing every week. My week 1 ranking show is going to go up Wednesday. Go check that out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, wherever the heck you listen to podcasts. Subscribe, listen to that. That's where you're going to get the upcoming week IDP rankings. Not on this show. We're going to be doing a lot more recap stuff on this show, a lot more digging into last week's stats and kind of projecting forward. And then that show is going to be a ranking show. But let's get into some player news. We got Todd Davis got cut. That was kind of a big surprise yesterday. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we've been talking about whether or not AJ Johnson should be moving in front of him anyway, because we just don't trust Todd Davis. So, and apparently neither does their coaching staff. So.
Yeah, they brought in a couple of guys, but Barron, and they brought in Calatero.
I love the Barron ad, dude. Love the Barron ad.
It sucks. I mean, he just got nicked up, it was that calf, same injury that happened last year. He had a productive year last year, but I mean, they're cutting bait. They're getting younger in Denver. So, kind of writing was on.
They need to. Everybody else is. I mean,
yeah, true. Other big news: Tre'Davious White signed that big contract yesterday. Was that 4 years, $70 million?
Yeah, something like that. It's good money.
Yeah. I've got him in my tier 3 or 4 defensive backs going into the year, I believe. He gets a ton of pass deflections. He's not scared to put his nose down in there and get a tackle. He's always one of those guys who could be in contention for interception leader. Yeah, I've got him at 24 right now at defensive backs. That's not cornerbacks.
And that's saying something. That's saying something. As a cornerback to be in the defensive back, top 25.
Yeah.
But the thing is he's that good.
Yeah, he is. He took a team-friendly deal. I mean, the Bills, I think people are catching on to that the Bills are not a laugh them off anymore team.
No, I think they're the favorite in the division right now.
They have a well-run organization. They have a leader at head coach. They've got a smart general manager. They're paying, they're getting guys that are taking team-friendly deals. Why? Because the culture there is right. That's tough to do in the NFL. There's so many teams that have shit culture. Washington, the Jets, Miami's culture is turning around. I mean, there are places guys don't want to play football. The Bills are setting it up to where that's a place where people are going to want to go. And so I really like what they did there with them.
Love or hate Tom Brady, he did it for years and years and years to make sure he had the best players around him. And I mean, look, dude was taking $12, $15 million deals.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. And
it works.
You're the GOAT. You'd be getting Pat Mahomes money 10 years ago. And, back when, good money was then. He should have been the leading quarterback years and years ago, but hey, props to him for taking care of his teams. So,
yep. A couple other moves. Sean Lee and Kiko Alonso are both going to the IR. Not super IDP relevant, really.
it is.
Oh, is it?
But we'll find out in the hot take. Ooh.
Okay, all right. So what else we got going on here? Jalen Watkins, he's a guy who filled in for Derwin James last year for the Chargers. He was on Houston. They cut him. I've seen some speculation that now that Derwin's hurt, the Chargers might bring him back. He can play he's kind of a do-it-all guy, a Derwin James light, like a super light Derwin James. So maybe that ends up happening. Jadeveon Clowney is or is not signed with the Titans. I honestly have no clue. Every other report says he is, and every other report says he isn't. I put him in my rankings, assuming that he is going to be that guy at 33. He's into my tier 3. I don't count on him as any more than a DL2 going into the season. I think his floor is lower than that. I think that's his absolute ceiling. So that's kind of where I have him slotted in. And Vic Beasley got activated from the non-football injury. So, I mean, they have their pass rushers in place there now, assuming Clowney goes along with Harold Landry. Any big thoughts or takes on that situation, or are you just kind of like, oh?
I mean, I love Harold Landry. You know that. I've been a fan of him ever since then. But I think my biggest thing is you add him for depth. I mean, you want Clowney for depth, but I think Jeffrey Simmons is real, dude. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I think he helps you in the pass rush, which I think he really helps Landry and Rashaan Evans if you add Clowney. So I don't know. It seems like the Titans want him pretty bad. So,
yeah.
But well, I mean, also, Cleveland offered him like $40 million for 3 years. He didn't take it.
He wanted to go to a contender. I mean, Cleveland Browns have got enough big names on them, but I mean, we saw what the Titans did last year. I mean, they were contenders. I mean, they were pushed into the playoffs. I mean, they were up, 2-3 scores on Kansas City first game of the playoffs. So it's not like this team was not good last year. I mean, they just ran into my Chiefs, and my Chiefs don't mess around. So that was unfortunate for them. But I think he chose them over the Saints too, or we're talking like he has. Again, I can't find any information that he's actually signed or not. So maybe he is with the Titans, maybe he's not. We'll find out more about that today.
You said Kiko went to IR?
That's what I saw this morning.
That's legit.
Yeah, I guess Zach Bond maybe is going to actually show up and play some linebacker there. That'd be exciting. We got a couple other little pieces of news before we get into the hot takes and the kind of like season leaders. We got like defensive player of the year, sack leader, and stuff like that we're going to go over. But Reuben Foster also went to IR. I don't really know what to make of that. I had him on a couple of teams over the summer, but I've been slowly he's been making my cut list, and he's been kind of ended up on waivers. Same team, Donald Payne, postseason hero last year, most efficient tackler in the whole NFL when he was playing, like a 17, 18, 19% tackle rate. He got cut yesterday too by Washington. He got cut by Washington yesterday. So
they're just too deep. I mean, they just have too many players.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I, we think that they have arguably the best front four, rotational front four.
Oh yeah, easily. Their linebacker
in the league,
kind of a mess.
Bro.
Cole Holcomb, I guess, gets a bump. John Bostic gets a bump. Thomas Davis gets a bump. So we kind of know what their linebacking core is going to look like going forward. Last piece of news, really, that I kind of had written down was the Ronnie Harrison trade. He got sent to the Browns from the Jags. Jags are cleaning house. Whatever. I mean, Jags are a dumpster fire. So they got rid of
sink for sunshine, baby.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Jags player right now and just like see you wake up every day and you're like scared to look at your phone. Like, have I been cut? Have I been released? I got no clue. So
yeah, bro.
Ronnie Harrison, I had him at 16 in my rankings. I think that was a little too bullish, honestly. He's down at 21 for me now. With the move.
I think he has a better year at Cleveland.
See, I think he does too, and that's kind of why I was like really looking at my rankings. I was like, man, I probably shouldn't even had him up that high if I'm being real with myself. So I moved him down.
I think 21's pretty good spot.
No, yeah, I think that's a solid place for him to be. Especially with their linebacking core being kind of we don't know what's going to happen. We don't really know the talent level of some of these guys. Ronnie Harrison, we know is a good player. I think he's going to be on the field, so I expect him to get some work. So.
Yeah, just before we get started for later in the show, Steve, can you find out when we did our podcast with when we talked about the Jets and the whole division, just let me know when that is.
That was my man Greg Thompson. That was
Yeah.
that was back in May, I think. That was our NFC, or what was that? AFC, NFC. I always get them mixed up. I say that all the time.
It's the AFC
East.
Yep.
That was with Greg. I think that was a May episode.
Was that our first or second with our guest?
I think that was our second. That was a great show, though. He had so much.
It was a great show.
And he was the one who put us on to Marcus May. He said, if Jamal Adams disappears, I've heard that Marcus
May, well, we talked about Marcus May at the end of the season last year. Was Adams went down. He was legit relevant, and well, I'll just get one of my hot takes out of the way right now. Marcus May finishes as a top 25 safety. Book it.
Ooh, like that.
And ADP was 117 during that show. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he was pretty damn low. All right, well, let's go ahead and hop into our kind of hot takes, bold predictions. We got our predictions for Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie Defensive Player of the Year, sack leader, tackle leader, interception leader, tackle for loss leader. We also have our top rookie linebacker, prognostication in there. And then we got 7 hot takes for you guys. I know we'll 7. I don't know if we have 7 total or we're going to have 7 each. We'll see when we get there. But let's just go ahead and start. Defensive Player of the Year. My Defensive Player of the Year candidate is a guy that needs no introduction. He's my number 2 dynasty linebacker. He's my number 2 overall dynasty player on IDP. He's a guy that, because of his outside linebacker eligibility, a lot of people like to bury. A lot of people like to look away from. That's not me. That's not me. On a data site the other day, he had the most. He was tied for the most assisted tackle or sacks. Basically, what that means is he met somebody else at the quarterback more than anybody else. What that tells me is those could have easily all been solo sacks. He could have easily had 4 or 5 more actual sacks last season. He just didn't. Bud Dupree just happened to be closing in at the same time. Cam Hayward just happened to be there with him. He got a lot of half sacks last season. This guy, if you take 2 or 3 of those half sacks and make them full sacks, you're looking at 18 sacks last year. Impact plays the last 2 years in 2018, impact plays in IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring, just FYI, anything over 2 points, you're looking at your pass deflections, you're looking at your forced fumbles, you're looking at your tackles for loss, blah, you know what I'm talking about, all the big plays, anything that's not a tackle, anything or a quarterback hit. He had 21 in 2018. He had 36 impact plays in 2019. 36.
That's stupid, dude.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Screw a tackle. I don't need another tackle. I mean, this guy is blowing people up everywhere on the field. TJ Watt is my Defensive Player of the Year candidate thing away. He was number 1 IDP in almost linebacker in almost every league I was in. There was 1 or 2 leagues that have extremely IDP to suppress scoring. In those leagues, yeah, he finished like 14, 15. I was in like 15 IDP leagues, and in like 14 of them, he was a top 2 guy. So if we're just looking across the board at the way people play fantasy football and you're ranking him lower than you should rank him, shame on you. He's Defensive Player of the Year candidate for me. TJ Watt, at me. Let's go. All right, who you got for your Defensive Player of the Year?
Bro, it's the one person that even last year, and he's been vocal on Twitter about it, and dude, he's the best defensive player in fantasy football. And he might be the best defensive player in the league. And I love TJ Watt. You know that. And I told you this is a neck and neck thing for me. But Darius Leonard deserves all of it. Okay. Not only is he the game changer you want in fantasy football, but Darius Leonard is the captain of any fantasy football team that you have. Right. If you're an IDP guy, which you better be, I mean, dude is a monster. And he's been a monster. I mean, his rookie season, one of the best, if not the best, linebacker debuts ever from a rookie. Then last year, he gets a concussion, is out for a couple weeks, and still finishes, as a top 10 guy. Like Darius Leonard, or if you don't see him as your dude, and he ain't one of the first picks, if not the first pick in your draft, then there's something wrong. Because Darius Leonard he's good for 100 sacks. He's good for a couple interceptions. He's good for 4 forced fumbles.
100 sacks?
100 tackles. Sorry. Let me get on that. But
damn.
but he's good for five to 7 sacks. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's elite. He's and people are not going to want to hear this. He is a better Patrick Willis. Just the truth. And if he stays the way he's doing, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's a faster Ray Lewis.
Yeah, he's so athletic.
So athletic.
It's unreal the things he's
can everywhere.
Do. The high tackle.
He's the best outside linebacker ever. It's ridiculous.
So last year, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, mine's TJ Watt. You know, guys, both those guys kind of got stuck last year on teams with shitty quarterbacks. I mean, Darius Leonard had Jacoby Brissett. TJ Watt had a mixture of Duck Hodges and old Mason Rudolph. So, you know, the brand equity of their team, their win totals were not there, but these guys were ballers on the field. Now we got Phillip Rivers. Now we got Big Ben back, two guys that could be Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I think Big Ben is definitely a lock. So if they can put up the similar numbers they did last year on winning teams with, you know, high brand equity with quarterbacks that are putting them in game-winning situations, they are definitely contenders for Defensive Players of the Year. So love that. All right, let's move on down the list to our Defensive Player of the Year, our rookie version. I'm kind of taking the layup here. I'm taking Chase Young. You know, the guy was an absolute game wrecker in college. Incredible high tackle for loss number, incredible, you know, ability to, we were talking before the show, Steve brought it up. He's always going for that strip sack. You know, he's not just trying to get people on the ground. He's trying to knock the ball loose. That's something that is, you know, he practices. That's a skill set that he has been trying to hone since, you know, in college. And I'm assuming he's going to bring it into the NFL as well. I mean, he's tossing people around. He's so explosive off the line. What was he, 2 overall, right? Was it 2 or 3? I don't remember exactly.
Well,
he was number 2 overall in the draft.
2.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all there. You know, we already know who he is. He played for Ohio State. We know he's a good player. I don't see any of these other rookies, you know, doing enough to even come close. You know, as long as he plays, I just see him getting it done. You know, I don't think that Kenneth Murray, I don't think Patrick Queen, I don't think Kyle Duggar, I don't think any of these other guys have a chance if
and he's not injury prone. I mean, let's be real here. I you know me, I've not made it irrelevant at all that I think Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa get injured, right? And I love both of them. I think they're elite. And Chase Young is a predator, bro. I mean, he's a full-on predator.
Yes, sir.
And I'm with you. Like, it is a layup because he could have 12 sacks, not even thinking about it. Because Montez Sweat is nothing short of amazing on the other side. And you're going to have to deal with him, right? They don't really know anything about Chase Young. You know, every time it seems to be somebody's best year, it seems when nobody really knows about them. People know Chase Young, don't get me wrong, but the NFL players haven't seen his swim move, haven't seen his, you know, his chop and duck. They haven't seen it. So how do you prepare for it? And dude, he's a monster. He's straight strength, and I'll give you it's a layup because that's the easy way out. I'm not taking the easy way out. I'm taking, without a doubt, taking Kenneth Murray here. So
Jared's pick for Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie is Kenneth Murray. Talk to him, Jared. You know all about Kenneth Murray.
Obviously, I've been a huge fan of Kenneth Murray long before he was here. I'm a big OU fan. If you guys don't know that, but it's not about that. Watch this kid since high school. I mean, he's just a big dude, right? I mean, he's good for 100 tackles. He's good for tackles for loss. He's a great motor. You know, honestly, I love this stat line: 102, 17 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 4 pass deflections. I think we'll get to 120 in tackles, and maybe 10 tackles for loss. But they told him from the get-go, you're the middle linebacker. And in general, the reason why this is a take is because the Chargers in general rotate their linebackers. They flat told him, we want to see 90% out of you. They want 90% of snaps out of him. And they've already, I mean, he's a 4-5 guy and legit. And if you watch the tape, he stumbled in the combine. He's a 4-4 guy. I mean, he's as fast as CeeDee Lamb is, and CeeDee Lamb is, you know, going to be the best rookie receiver in the class. and
Yeah,
he's
he
real,
read
dude.
that.
I mean, it's crazy. I've got so much highlight tape on this dude. It's ridiculous. I mean, he is a highlight reel, and he reads defenses or read offenses really well, and that's something that I've really grown to love about the guy, especially his growth. He's got better and better and better and better. So yeah, he's my rookie defensive player of the year, and I'm sticking to it. I've not budged on this from the get go, and it's not because he's from Oklahoma. It's because just look at the tape.
There you go. I like it. I think both those guys are definitely contenders, probably the top two guys for sure. So let's move on to our sack leader for the year. I've got, again, I already brought him up earlier. It's TJ Watt. You know, again, you look at some of the metrics, and he had so many assisted sacks that easily could have fallen his way as solo sacks. His numbers could have been jacked up, and this was on a team that was playing from behind all last year. That's not going to be the case this year. He's going to be put in high leverage situations where they're up, where he's able to just get after it. And Stephon Tuitt is supposed to be back healthy. Cameron Hayward, you know, you don't even talk about him. We know what he brings to the table. He's he's top 3 interior defensive linemen. And I don't say he's number 1 just because I don't want to deal with Aaron Donald haters coming at me, but he might be better than Aaron Donald. Maybe play a little bit different position. Yeah, whatever. Watch Cameron Hayward play ball. Watch and listen to the way he talks. Maybe the thing that gets me about him is
I love Cameron Hayward, dude. But Cameron Hayward ain't trying, and it's 300 pounds.
Cameron Hayward ain't trying to be friends with nobody. I'll tell you this: if you had him square up, I guarantee you, Cameron Hayward ain't gonna blink at Aaron Donald's 8-pack. He walks straight through him. That's a big
300 pounds with an 8-pack.
That's a big man. I'd take Cam Hayward all day in that fight, all day. So anyway, back to my dude TJ Watt. I think he could lead the league in sacks. I think he's got 18 sack upside. You know, again, if you look at some of the assisted sacks he had last year, he got so many half sacks. This could have fallen his way. He could have easily been sitting with a higher total than he had last year, which was like 14 and a half. So he's a guy that I think could push up there and to be a sack leader. So I think you have the same guy, right? You have TJ Watt.
I have the exact same guy. I could have taken the easy way out and said, Shaq Barrett with Minka, Hayden, Terrell Edmonds, who I'm ridiculous about. They're ridiculous. Okay. Cam Hayward, Chandler Jones, love both of them, right? I think they drop. I think you'll see TJ Watt just move up just a little bit. I'm thinking 17 and a half sacks, and I'm right with you. I think 17 and a half sacks or he might even get crazy on us, and with the addition to it being healthy again, we might see 20 out of TJ Watt. We both agree. I think he's going to be the sack leader as well.
He is going to crush people's souls. Yeah, I think Shaq Barrett, I mean, obviously – he's not going to repeat. That goes without saying. I'm just going to say it because everybody loves to say it. But I think 10 to 12 is easily in his range of outcomes. You know, he didn't do what he did last year on accident. If you watched him play, I mean, he was very capable pass rusher. He just ended up in a situation early in his career where there was better guys with better names and better capital in front of him. It's not a hard fade for me. I thought him at 24, I think, in my linebacker rankings. I am perfectly fine with him as my 2 or 3 at linebacker. You know, and I think he's going to have a good season. Basically what I'm saying. I don't want people to fade Shaq Barrett too much, which seems to be a popular thing to do.
I mean, I'm not fading completely. We've already said that. He's still extremely relevant, so.
Yeah, extremely relevant. That's the best way to put it. All right, our next bold prediction we got here. Tackle leaders. All right. So my tackle leader for the year, 2020, I got Joe Schobert in here. All-Pro Joe moves down to Jacksonville, where they've had a productive linebacker basically every year for the past 3 or 4 years. You know, Telvin Smith is not on the team anymore because of his situation, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, listen to these tackle numbers from Joe. I mean, 2017, 144. I think he led the league that year as well, or was really close to it. 2018, 103 in 13 games, and last year, 133 in 16 games. The tackle floor is already there for him. Pass deflections last 3 years, 9, 6, 4. But I mean, I'm talking about tackles. He's going down to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to be a booty team. They're not going to do much scoring-wise. They're going to have a lot of short drives, and they're going to be a lot of snaps going around. I mean, he's easily going to go over 1,000 snaps this year. He's going to play damn near all of them. Joe Schobert is going to rack up some numbers. I said last week I was on the fantasy football Discord channel, officially endorsed Discord fantasy football channel now. And someone asked me about Joe Schobert, his move down there, what I thought about it. I said, I mean, he honestly has top 3 linebacker upside this year. I mean, he's going to play the snaps. He got paid. We've seen he can do it, not just in the tackle department, but he can do it all over the field. He can get pass deflections. He can get interceptions. He can get behind the line of scrimmage. He's everything. I mean, he's everything but a big name in the football world. So people that play IDP know, he's usually a guy you can get him a little later, 6, 7, 8 as your linebacker. But as a guy to get in that area who has top 3 linebacker upside, that's awesome. So I've got him down for my tackle leader this year. I think he can push into that 140 area again and maybe even get 150.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on Joe Schobert. I think you can see 100 solo tackles out of him.
Damn right.
Talon Smith did it twice. So, 99. He did 99, 99, 100. So technically, he's done it 3 times. And I'm with you. Joe Schobert is in the perfect position. Honestly, I'm gonna stay with this. There's only 2 fantasy relevant players on that team. And that's Josh Allen, Joe Schobert. Fight me all you want. I don't trust their safeties. So.
I mean, Jarod Wilson's good for a safety 3, defensive back 3 kind of guy, bye week injury. But yeah, you can't put him in as a 2 or even definitely not as a 1 unless you're in like an 18-team league or something redonkulous.
Yep. So I don't know. I'm with you on that one. I love Joe Schobert. All-Pro Joe's my dude. So
who's your tackle leader?
Come on, bro. Yeah. Bobby Wags. B-Swag.
B-Wags.
Dude,
it's a good bet. He's led the league in.
Dude, right? We pulled up stats year in and year out on 29 being the year that people blow up. Well, he can't go much further blowing up than he did last year, but I honestly think he's going to get a few more sacks this year. So I think they rush him a little more. He's a great coverage linebacker. He's great. He's going to lead. I truly believe he's going to lead in tackles. I'm thinking 150. So all day. So we'll see what happens. But that's my guy. B-Swags is the guy. I have him in like 3 different leagues. He's the second linebacker I'm targeting if you can get him. But I've been lucky to grab him in almost every league. So I actually made a massive trade the other day, and I have Darius Leonard and Bobby Swags, my main 2 linebackers. So
sounds like you're set up to seed at the linebacker position there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean,
yeah,
we're talking ridiculous.
He's a soul crusher,
and he stays healthy.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, that in and of itself is a skill.
People don't even touch that guy. Like, he gets through clean to tackles, and it doesn't matter what they do on that defensive line. And Seattle always is very, very good defensively. Would love or hate them. They have some relevant players. They have Jamal Adams now, right? So they're going to stay away from that guy. So which means my man B-Swag's going to get more tackles. So you better stay away from Jamal Adams. He'll embarrass you. So
he's going to embarrass a lot of people in IDP this year. Although everyone's got him ranked like 3 or 4. It's just cute enough to where you can say when he finishes 1 that you didn't fade him too hard.
I had somebody tell me they barely had him in the top 15. I said, get me out of here, bro.
Here's my
relevant here.
This is a sidebar. Jamal Adams take. I'm just going to say it again. I've said it 3 or 4 times now. The 3 years that Cam Chancellor played all 15 or 16 games in Seattle, he averaged 99 tackles and 16 impact plays. Never was an all-pro.
Ridiculous.
Jamal Adams has been an all-pro. He's been to the Pro Bowl twice. He is better than Cam Chancellor was. He is going to play 14 to 16 games. He's going to crush whatever those numbers Cam Chancellor put up. That's my threshold for tier 1. And if Cam Chancellor could hit those thresholds, Jamal Adams can hit those thresholds easily. He's got so much more upside than Cam Chancellor had. It's unreal. So anybody that's putting him, again, this is the thing. The fade is a real cute fade. It's a 2 or a 3 or a 4. If you don't think he's going to do good, fade him. Put him down at 8 or 9. Okay? Don't put him at 2 or 3, and when he finishes 1, you can be like, well, I didn't fade him too hard. Put your money where your mouth is. Because I see people talking the fade, but I think I'm
going to have to eat crow originally because, I said, Hunter going to drop. But you trade for Giannis Ngakoue, I got to eat my crow right now.
I got him at 1. I think the upside is there. He's been number 1 overall. I see people putting guys at 1 overall in their rankings that have never done it. I see people putting 1 and 2 and they've never done it. I'm like, how do you project a guy to hit an unknown ceiling? It doesn't make any sense to me. That was my Jamal Adams sidebar. I will stand for Jamal Adams till the day I die. So let's just go ahead and move on.
I love the Prez, man.
Yeah, Prez. Put some respect on his name, y'all. All right, interception leader. I got Marshawn Lattimore down. I think with adding Brady to this division, we got old Teddy Two Gloves in the division. We got Matt Ryan in the division. These guys are going to be throwing the rock. There's going to be more than enough opportunities for interceptions for this team. Plenty of opportunities for Marshawn Lattimore. Ooh, Steve got me. Steve got me hooked up here. I mean, he's a beast. As a rookie, he had 5 interceptions? He's kind of faded off since then the last couple of years, 2 and 1. Interceptions are hard to predict, but I just think there's going to be a lot of shootouts in this division, and I think that there's going to be more than enough opportunities for him to do this. And, what do we say? If he does fall off the cliff, if Brady falls off the cliff, which I'm not saying he will, but we saw it with Peyton Manning when he fell off the cliff, led the league in interceptions that year, still won the Super Bowl. I mean, if this is the year that he loses it, look out. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore out there, he's roving around. He's looking for those INTs. You don't think he's going to be trying harder than he's ever tried in his life to pick Brady off in those 2 games they played? He will. And he's looking for that contract, too. He's in that 3rd year. So I have got Marshawn Lattimore as my interception leader on the year. And, yeah, I mean, it's just as good a pick as any, I feel like.
Yeah, I like Marshawn Lattimore. I legit almost went Patrick Peterson here. I think he has a monster comeback year. You disappear for a year, because of suspension, and people forget you're one of the more elite guys in the league. And man, I've been crazy. I'm retired now, so all I do is watch training camp videos and everything. Like, if I could have went to training camps this time, I would have went. I'd have done it. But he's looked really good in camp, and I almost picked Patrick Peterson. But dude, Marcus Peters is a turnover monster. And you got to test either him or Humphrey. And I think Humphrey's one of the best lockdown corners in the league, bar none. And Marcus Peters just roves and takes picks. I mean, every year he's had, 6 interceptions? I mean, heck, his first week.
It's stupid.
Coming to Baltimore, he had a pick 6 against Seattle. So
you're 100%. I mean, great pick. I mean, this is his career. 8, 6, 5, 3, 5, 5. He's averaging 5.5 interceptions a season. That's not a small sample. That's 5 years. That's not a small sample size.
If this dude could stop his mouth, he'd be an All-Pro.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
You can talk all you want in the league, but the thing is he's missed a lot of games too, and still done this. Play 18 games. Play 16 games. Give me, all you got on the field, and keep your mouth shut off the field. That dude gets a massive contract.
He's almost got 1,000 career interception return yards. Almost 1,000 of them. That's wild.
Stupid. He's stupid, dude. I mean, he was so elite. I mean, the thing is what did he have? 9 turnovers in Kansas City in 5 weeks, and then they end up getting rid of him because, bro. I mean, he led the league in interceptions his rookie year, I think, or tied.
Yeah. It was just because he was running his mouth a little bit. He did throw his thing in the stands, and I wish he was on the Chiefs still. Gosh, he was one of those. I mean, he fit in with their culture, in my opinion. Still, he's about the only player I can think you could add to the Chiefs right now that I would love. I'm bummed he didn't get that Super Bowl with them. I'm bummed he didn't get a Super Bowl with the Chiefs or the Rams. But he's in a good position now with Baltimore.
Yeah, when I found out Earl Thomas punched a player at practice, I'm like, that's Marcus Peters, bro. I legit, without knowing it was Chuck Clark, I knew, Marcus talking smack to this dude again, right? I thought for sure, but no, I think he's elite, dude.
Great pick for interception leader there. I like it. All right, guys, we're going to move on to our tackle for loss leader on the season. I have got the man who needs no introduction, who's averaging 19 and a half tackles for loss, which, I mean, we'll round it up, 20 tackles for a loss through his career. This isn't 1 year. This isn't 2 years. This isn't 3 years. This isn't 4 years. This is like 6 years now he's been in the league, I think, 6 or 7. Aaron Donald. This man lives behind the line of scrimmage. He's led the league in sacks. He's led the league the last 2 years in tackles for loss. I mean, he just unreal. You know, we were talking about him a little bit earlier. He's a little bit smaller than Cam Hayward, but I mean, it almost works to his advantage. He knows how to maneuver his body so well to get through the line and hit these gaps. And I mean, there he is. He's crushing Alvin Kamara right there. Who, I mean, Alvin Kamara's a little overrated in my opinion, but whatever. So he's my pick for tackle players. Well, this is known. There is much recorded evidence of my not a big fan of the Saints. I do love Demario Davis. I do love Cam Jordan. All right, so those are IDP guys. So those are guys I love. And I just picked Marshawn Lattimore as my interception leader. So I don't hate the Saints. I don't love the Saints. So
the offensive side.
Yeah, the offensive side. I don't know. Yeah. We won't get in the weeds there. But I'm picking Aaron Donald as my tackle for a loss leader. Who you got here?
I like it. I'm going out on a limb here.
I see that.
Frank Clark.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, let's be real. When this dude's on, he's everywhere. I mean, here's the thing. He just put a phenomenal move, and who I think is one of the best right tackles in the league in Brown. He was one of the steal of the draft for them. To put a spin move on him, let me give you a quick stat on Brown. He only allowed 3 sacks in like 7 years as a left or right tackle.
Damn.
He's real. I mean, and he's young. I mean, we're talking this dude's in his 3rd year in the pros, and in college he was elite. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray never got touched. He's good, and he embarrassed him on that play, and he embarrasses everybody when he's healthy. And he legit was not healthy all year last year. And I knew he was injured before going into the season, and he was and you can pull up the tape, and I talked about it. He's the guy I faded last year. Beginning of the season, I said, watch out, he's injured. He got this big contract. I just don't believe it. And I was right. I am back on the train. He's healthy. He got really healthy towards the end of the season last year. And let's be real, he was one of the main reasons they won a Super Bowl.
Yep. So he was a postseason hero.
And I'm back on the train. I really believe that he could legit be our tackle for loss leader.
There you go.
I'm thinking 19, 20 tackles for loss. I really believe that.
Woo! Hot. That's what we're here for, though. That's what today is. Today's about that spice. Love it. All right. Well, let's talk about our top rookie linebacker. We've already talked about him a little bit. It's the same guy for both of us. It is Kenneth Murray. He's in a position to succeed. Derwin James gone. That defense is going to be on the field nonstop. He's playing middle linebacker. How many awards did he win in college? Every linebacker award that exists. First everything that exists. He had 60 tackles that one season 2 years ago in 12, 13, 14 games. I mean, he's a game wrecker. Spare me your Patrick Queen takes. Kenneth Murray is going to be the rookie linebacker to own this year. Number one.
I'm with you. That's my dude. I planted my flag early and often, and I said he would be a first-round draft pick. And the Chargers are the teams that do not play linebackers. I mean, the thing is they're so deep in front of him right now. He's clean, dude. I'm clean all day to get to a linebacker. I mean, it's going to be scary. Linebacker's going to score, and he's the only guy that I'm legit taking in that group. It's harder to tell you who he reminds me of because he's got such a great motor. But Kenneth Murray, man, I'm telling you, I'm seeing 130 tackles all day. I truly believe this. I'm not fading this dude at all. I'm legit. Will tell you, 85 to 100 solos.
I love it.
And thing is somebody gave me flack for this the other day when I was talking about his solo, thoughts. Devin Bush had 71 solos. So the Chargers, their offense isn't elite. They don't know who Tyrod Taylor's the starting quarterback. Come on, bro, give me Fade me on that. This dude's going to get all the opportunity on the planet. And I got a small bet saying that he's going to have over 80% of snaps for the season. I'm like, this is really going to be a bet for me. And so I'm betting a bottle of whiskey on it. So
there you go.
I'm going to get my bottle of whiskey, Brandon.
Tell him.
Calling you now. All right. So, yeah, that's what I'm on.
All right. Well, then
call it good.
Let's jump into our hot takes, guys. We're going to do a little bit of a Q&A here at the end of the show. Just FYI, we got a few questions here from a fella. And if anybody else has questions, put them in there. We'll try and get to them in a reasonable amount of time. Share this episode if you're watching it on the Periscope or the Twitter or whatever. Let's get some more people in here and answer some questions. But, again, this time next week or in an hour, this time next week plus an hour, we're going to be in here again for the Sunday IDP Army live cast, answering all your start sit questions. You're going to want to be here. This is the hot place to do IDP start sits. There's nowhere else you're going to want to be on the web that's going to answer your questions as fun and as accurately as we will. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Let's jump into the hot takes now. This wasn't even hot takes, guys. We've actually just been doing some picks for our leaderboards for the season. But now we're going to jump into some hot takes. Do you want to go back and forth, or do you want us just to read straight down?
Let's go back and forth a little bit. Let's have some
fun.
All
right. Well, and these are hot takes. We don't have to defend them. There's no need to say this is why we think it's going to happen. It's hot. It's probably not going to happen, but we're throwing it out there because we think it is in the realm of possibilities. So I'm going to give you my first one. It's on my Steeler, Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think this year, 2020, hot take, Minkah Fitzpatrick hits 85 tackles or more. 85 or more tackles. And just so you know, he's never gone over I believe he had 81 his rookie season. That was the most he's ever had. So he would have I'm double checking that right now. He had 80 his rookie season. He had 769 last year. So he would be leading. He'd be crushing his current tackle total number in a season at 85. That's my hot take. I'll make a Fitzpatrick this year.
I like it. Von Bell leads the Bengals in tackles.
Ooh, there you go. Love it. That's a good one. That's a good one. There's a couple safeties for y'all. All right, my number 2 hot take. I don't even feel like this is that hot, but I just got to keep saying it. Patrick Queen has less than 100 total tackles. 15 games last year, LSU. This dude had 37 solos, guys. 48 assists. Translated into the NFL, they've had some studies. You really want high solo tackles or high tackle for loss numbers. He did not have either of those. I know he went to the Ravens. I know he played in SEC. I know he played at LSU. I know everybody loves him. I know everybody's got him as their linebacker 1. Remember this next year when people are like, I didn't have him as my 1. Every single IDP analyst that I've seen has Patrick Queen as their linebacker 1, except for us 2. So don't forget it. We'll pull the tape up. We'll throw it back out there.
He ain't the top rookie linebacker. Here, I'm going to give you this hot take for me. He ain't the top rookie linebacker on his own team.
Ooh, there you go. Spit that fire, King. I love it.
Malik Harrison, call it, numbered it.
There you go.
Get it.
So there's hot take number 2 from me. I guess that's kind of a free hot take for you.
Free hot take.
All right, who's your next one?
Marcus May, top 30 safety.
Boom. There you go. All right, here's one for you. This one's spicy.
Maybe top 20.
Hey, we'll see. It's hot. Getting it 10 spots hotter right there. All right, this is my third one. I got Rashaan Evans scores more fantasy points than Jayon Brown. IDP 123 scoring, of course, because that's what we do over here, guys.
I knew with Derek asking questions about Rashaan Evans. I'm like, oh, you already have one.
I already had it written down. We're going to get to a question from a guy in the comments, Derek Monk. We'll go over it, but I already had it written down. Rashaan Evans outscores Jayon Brown in IDP 123 scoring this year. Let's go. That's a hot take, but let's go.
Let's go. Agreed. Right. 100% agree with you. I'm on that. My man comes back to relevancy. Leighton Vander Esch leads Dallas in tackles.
Ooh, like that.
Suck it, Trebek.
All right, number 4, hot take for me. This is hot, okay? Don't come after me, but Aaron Donald, less than 10 sacks. Less than. Like 9.5. Still got him as tackle for loss leader, but I don't think those sacks are going to fall his way this season. That's a hot take. Again, that's what I'm projecting. If you look at my rankings, he's in that tier where I've got him over 12.5. But as a hot take, less than 10.
Woo, weak outlet. That's a hot one, dude. That's a hot one. Zach Bond. legit fantasy relevance this year. Kiko Alonso going down to the IR, kind of stabbed down in the beginning. Zach Bond is the Joe Schobert clone. If you watch my video, I had him top, I think, number 20. I moved him into my top 10 updated rankings. Zach Bond, top 10 rookie, legit. I love this dude. Like, I can't even tell you how much I love this dude.
Nice.
Joe Schobert clone. Look at the stats in college. There were mirror images. Okay, enough Zach Bond. Love that dude.
All right, dude. My next one. This one's flaming hot. You thought the last one was hot. Wait till you hear this. All right, 5. Yannick Ngakoue has more sacks than Daniil Hunter in 2020.
I legit was gonna take this one.
Set it on fire. Burn it all down. He could do it.
Oh my gosh.
There's a hot one.
I need a new one. I mean,
you can just let's combine that. We'll just say collectively that's a consensus hot take. How's that?
We agree. Dude, that was the greatest trade for them, and for what they got Yannick Ngakoue for. Get out of here, bro.
I know. Didn't they want 2 first? Wasn't that what I was hearing earlier?
Originally, yeah.
And the Vikings got him for a 2nd and like a 5th. So yeah, that's a trade of a lifetime. That's guys. Take note there too for your fantasy leagues. Patience on your trades. You have in the offseason, especially, you have months to acquire a player. Just because you get an itch and you want to go get him and you can't get a deal done today, give it a month. Give it 2 months.
That's going to go down as one of the greatest trades in NFL history, next to DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson. And Corey Dillon, long time ago when the Patriots got Corey Dillon for like a 4th rounder, and then he leads the league in rushing the next year. So there's that.
All right,
yeah, that's a good one.
All right, I got my next hot take here. J.J. Watt leads the league in sacks 2020. He just does it. There you go. That's hot.
So it's funny because I have J.J. Watt leading the league in quarterback hits.
There you go. You know he's going to be there.
I don't want to fade Josh Allen too much when Ngakoue left, but it sounds like it's not stopped him in practice. He's like, okay, well, I'm the guy now, so here we go. My hot take is Josh Allen finishes top 10 defensive end all year.
Boom. Love it. My last hot take, Jamie Collins, now with the Detroit Lions, finishes as a top 10 linebacker. Of course, as always, like I said, IDP 123 scoring, guys. That is what we are always talking about when we say finishing on this show. There is no question about it. We have a default scoring. We have a standard set. These numbers apply to these players in all of our leagues. There is no, well, in this and that. That's what we're talking about. IDP 123 scoring. So I think that he finishes a top 10 linebacker in IDP 123 scoring. That's a hot take. A hot take.
That is a hot take. I mean, I love Jamie Collins, and when Jamie Collins on the field is elite, and for some reason the Patriots didn't really play him a lot, because when he did play, he just had a touchdown. It seemed like, or pick six, or
big play machine last year.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy.
Impact plays left and right.
I mean, I watched. Yeah, I love Jamie Collins. I couldn't believe the Browns got rid of him when they, after whatever. I almost feel like they wish they had him back, especially as low as they go. Speaking of Browns, Sion Takitaki leads the Brown in tackles and is also a top 25 linebacker.
There you go. Love it. Those are some hot takes for y'all. We have those written down. We will come back around to them, in December, or not December, probably January, February. We'll come back to the show, see how we did with our leaders, see how we did with our hot takes, see how they stood up. Obviously, they're hot, guys. We're not expecting them to work out, but they're in outcomes. So, all right. Well, let's answer some questions here, I guess. Before we get to that, I don't know if you guys have any quick plugs, but again, check out the Defense Matters, mostly IDP All Fantasy Football show. I'll have a new episode of that up in the next day or two. Check out the IDP Army shirts. If you're interested in one of those, DM my man Jarod. He will get you one. I know Dennis Bennett's got one. We sent him one. I got one. Steve's got one. Doesn't Zach have one? A couple other guys in the community have one. Get one, guys. They're cool. IDP Army. Yep. This is what we do. This is what we live for. The IDP Army is growing. If you see a hashtag that says IDP Army on it and it's by some other IDP fantasy content creator, they're chopping our style. So that just means we're growing.
Just know where it started. We know we started it, and we're going to plug away with it. But it's not any hate towards anybody else. We just want everybody to get on board. We're trying to grow IDP relevancy. There's a standard scoring with IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring, just like we have with standard, PPRs now. You can change it as you go, right? And we're not saying you don't, but IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring should be the scoring. And if you want to make little tweaks to it, just like full point PPR scoring, you're the commissioner.
Do it.
But your standard should start with IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring. Stick with it. Call it money.
Yep. That revised article, the new version of that article will be up on Dynasty Nerds, hopefully in the next 48 hours, guys. If you haven't read it, read it. Like I said, it says in there in multiple spots, customize it as you want, make it your own for your league. I don't know where there seems to be this misconception that it's this rigid scoring format that we only want people to play in. I want people to tweak it. I love when people send me, hey, I added quarterback hits are 1.25, or hey, we made solo tackles 1.75. Fucking love it. I'm not mad at it. I mean, that still to me qualifies IDP 1, 2, 3 scoring because it's so close. We want you guys to play in a good scoring system that gets your players the right amount of points, that makes your players IDP relevant compared to your offense. So check out that article. That will be up in the next 2 or 3 days on Dynasty Nerds. I will plug that away everywhere and anywhere I can, because this time next year, if your IDP fantasy football content creator is not talking about that scoring system, you know that they're not on board with what the future holds. So, all right, let's get some of these questions here from we got here in the comment section. We got Derek Monk. He actually asked a question about Jayon Brown and Rashaan Evans. He said, I know you have Jayon Brown higher on your board. Rashaan Evans looked really good at the end of last year. So who takes the alpha spot tackle guy now that they are both middle and no more Woodyard? I still think the kind of alpha guy is going to be Jayon Brown just because he's better in coverage. So he's going to play on those, passing downs. But
he's
that doesn't. But that does, yeah, he's fast. He's like a little Devin Bush. But it's not like Rashaan Evans can't make up points in other places either. It's the one thing I love to look at those guys is they have kind of similar tackle rates and tackle floors. Jayon Brown gets the pass deflections, and Rashaan Evans gets the tackles for loss. They're both 2 and 3 point plays. I mean, tackles for loss end up stacking up, so they end up being a 4-point play. They're impact plays. They both get impact plays on top of their standard tackles. Maybe one is on the field a little bit more, so maybe he gets the slight edge, and that is Jayon Brown. But I think either of them can be played as your 2 on your team very confidently. And I have teams where I have both of them, and I'm playing both of them every week, and that sounds great to me. So, what you got a hot take on those guys? Any more comments?
I've been on Rashaan Evans, like you said. You think he leads, has more tackles than Jayon Brown? 100% with you. We've been on Rashaan Evans all year. We've been talking about it. It's his breakout time, and yeah. So Derek, he's saying Rashaan Evans on his waiver wire. Let's see what you got.
I wouldn't necessarily drop anybody to go. I wouldn't drop Jayon Brown to go pick up Evans by any means. You know what I mean? But if you only have 5 linebackers, they are Jayon Brown, Devin Bush, Jamie Collins, Zach Cunningham, Kenneth Murray's keeper league. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you got it set up pretty well, man.
I don't know. I think Rashaan Evans scores higher than Jamie Collins. Like you said, that's your hot take. And I love Jamie Collins. Do not get it twisted. It's kind of like Shaq Barrett for me, right? Shaq Barrett had all the opportunities and 30 more because his quarterback threw 30 interceptions and also fumbles. So in that aspect, I don't think Shaq Barrett gets those as much opportunity because Tom Brady's not going to turn the ball over 50 times. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to have to look and see how many times Jameis Winston actually turned the ball over besides his 30 interceptions. So you're going to have to look at that for me, Steve, because, I mean, that's 35 opportunities that you're not going to have. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's the reason I fade Shaq Barrett, because their defense is not going to be on the field not as much as it was last year. That's the only reason I'll tell you that. So
fair. I'm not really getting any questions on the YouTube or the Periscope today, so that's totally fine, guys. We understand that. I do have a question here from one of the Discord channels that I'm in. Somebody asked last night. Basically, they have Nick Bosa and Danielle Hunter in their league, but you only start one DL. And he said Myles Garrett is on the waiver wires. Should I drop Nick Bosa? And I just kind of told him, look, like in a league that shallow, it really just comes down to who do you want to watch play football. You know, I mean, you have Daniil Hunter and you have Nick Bosa. I mean, are you dropping Nick Bosa to pick up Myles Garrett? Sure, if you want to watch Myles Garrett play more. But, I mean, it's minuscule difference. I do have Garrett higher in my rankings. But, I mean, again, it just comes down to who do you want to watch play football, because you're only going to be able to play one of those guys. It sounds like you have 3 top 5, DL guys available at your fingertips in this league. So when it comes to something like that, it's just put the guy on your team you want to watch play, who's on the team that you enjoy watching play the most. And
adding Myles Garrett just to the bench would be worth it to me.
Yeah, he said
nobody else has him.
But he's got to drop. But because it's so shallow, he said his best cut candidate is Nick Bosa. So I was like, I don't know. I mean,
on the defensive line, I would agree, unless it's got roster limits. So we put roster limits in our league with Brandon, and man, I'm telling you, it is hurting a lot of people. And it makes it interesting because, dude, roster limits is tough because you want to. I mean, I would carry 6, 7, 8 linebackers because I can play 3. So it's tough.
Yeah, roster limits are kind of, I don't want to say it's bush league. It's just like, why you got to put so many boundaries on people? Just let them, I mean.
It's fun, though. I like it in the aspect that, hey, it's there.
It forces you to hold a balanced team, but not every team is balanced. That's kind of one of my things I've been realizing in my dynasty rosters is like some of my teams, I'm just like, I'm not trying to balance this team out. I'm trying to stack on my strengths. I'm trying to just play to my strengths. If this team has got a bad running back situation, but I have good wide receivers, I'm not just going to hemorrhage my good wide receiver situation to get another playable running back when I can just play my good wide receivers and piece together this other position. Next year in the draft, I'll get a linebacker or a running back. And then guess what? Now I still have all my good wide receivers and I'm fixing this other position. So whenever you have roster limits, you kind of force people into this kind of balanced scenario, this balanced situation, which I mean, I get the idea behind it, but in my mind, it's just not necessary. So that's all the questions I see popping up. Let's bring old man Steve in here and see what's up.
Oh man, Steve.
Thanks.
What up, Steve?
Same age as Jarod, and Jarod too.
Yeah, you guys are both a good bit older than me. Sorry, I didn't mean anything disrespectful. It's a sign of respect, ultimate respect.
I know, I'm just messing with you. What now? Jarod was asking me to look up something about Jameis Winston and Shaq Barrett, I believe. What was he asking?
I was wondering how many turnovers Jameis Winston had besides his 30 interceptions, fumbles and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, he had
because that was that's the one reason I'm fading Shaq Barrett. I don't think Tom Brady turns the ball over. I don't think he has 15, 20 interceptions. So we'll see.
I don't know how many times he fumbled it. I didn't pay much attention to that.
Stats. It should be in the rushing stats.
Looks like he had 12 fumbles last year.
Did he?
Not great.
Well, that's 42 turnovers.
Well, we don't know that they all got turned over.
He's fumbled the ball 50 times in his career.
Bro, I'd have got rid of him too.
He's still learning.
He's still learning. Bro. Don't get me wrong. He can be great. Dude,
he will be great next year. He will be great next year when he has Sean Payton and he's playing in a dome. He will be great next year. Watch.
His eyes fixed too. So, but what's gonna take care of that fumbleitis?
Who cares? Just throw more. Sean Payton loves it. He's like, great. We got another chance to throw deep.
I'll give you
10 yards down the field to Michael Thomas.
That line sucks. So, I mean, dude. That's 40. I mean, I'm not saying he got all. We'll say at least half of them, right? So that's 36 turnovers and 36 more opportunities for the defense. Dude, Shaq Barrett could drop down to 7, like this.
You're high.
Hey, I look at it though.
No.
Dude. Are you? So tell me this. Well, Tom Brady. In general, 10 interceptions or less his entire career. He had one bad season, really. Right? Yeah, but he doesn't turn the ball over.
Is this
not a Bruce Arians offense? He'll dink and dunk all day to Chris Godwin. Don't get it twisted, or Gronk. So
The corpse.
we'll
of
say
Gronk.
15 turnovers compared to 36.
This is a funny conversation to have on Twitter when people are like, people say Gronk is the best tight end to ever play football. Like, okay, he's 30 this year. He's dead. Like, he didn't play last year. 2 years ago when he played, he was dead. This year, he's dead in the water. Then you got a guy like Travis Kelce, who is literally on the back end of his 4,000-yard receiving season. He's like 9 months younger than Gronk. He's still doing it. But people are like, Gronk's better. Get out of here. Get out of here. He was better.
Keeps getting injured. I don't think so.
Gronk's getting worse. Kelce's getting better.
Bro, Kelce's elite. Kelce's has as good a quarterback, you know. I'm the biggest Tom Brady lover on the planet. Let's not get it twisted. But
Gronk was great.
Hey, Gronk, I'll give you maybe top 5, but you can't even say he's top 3.
Overall, I mean, tight ends, yeah, he's probably top 3 of all time. Great, because of the touchdowns, because of the game-winning plays, because of the Super Bowls. Great, but I'm talking about right now. If he's a shadow of who he was, and he's 30. You know what I mean? Like
this. I mean, this is where tight ends emerge.
This is where a lot of tight ends have their best seasons. Greg Olsen had like his best season at like 31. Delaney Walker had a great season at 31. Jared Cook has had his 2 best seasons of his career the past 2 seasons. He's like 33. And you're telling me Gronk, who's literally already in a coffin, is better than Kelce, who's been getting better every single year the past 5 years. Kelce hadn't even had a double-digit touchdown season yet.
Gronk looks really healthy.
That's fine. But he hasn't looked healthy.
Tony G's arguably the greatest tight end ever.
Yeah. Anyway, we should
also from Kansas City. So
yeah, we should get off this offense stuff because people are going to attack us. Gronk's okay. he's not the best tight end to ever play the game. In my opinion.
I mean, somebody's got to guard tight ends, right? And
he's
who
great.
else is going to do it other than
so.
Defense?
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and close my bit out. Guys, check out my new show, Defense Matters. Like I said, there'll be a new episode up in the next day or 2. Subscribe to that. Follow that for IDP rankings in the season once every week. Keep an eye out for the Dynasty Nerds IDP 123 default scoring article, which will be coming out in the next couple of days. My man John Glosser is in there on this new version with me, adding his bits and his commentary in there. It's a massive piece. I mean, it's not some 800,000 word article that I threw up, overnight. This thing was a 6-8 month research project. So much, so many stat diving, so many different league scoring formats looked into. I mean, it's a well thought out, a well presented article. If you haven't read it, you're doing yourself a disservice. Check it out. That'll be up soon. And guys, this time next week, we'll be getting you ready for that week 1. So I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for this upcoming season. And as always, IDP Army, we appreciate you. We love you guys. And we look forward to
next weekend.
What'd you say?
Have your questions ready next weekend.
Yeah, have your questions ready, guys. We'll be ready to answer them for you. So I'm going to hand it off to my man, Jarod.
Yeah, like you said, IDP Army shirt, let me know. DM me, DM the guys. We'll figure it out. And I'll get out to you. Maybe if you get it to me today or tomorrow, we'll have it before. You should have it before next weekend. So before the start of the weekend. And with that, until next week, let's go.